This is a really sad video. It's sad. It's embarrassing. It's almost kind of funny, but not in like the haha, I'm glad that this is happening, but it's like haha, I told you that this would happen kind of way. A massive car manufacturer company, Stellantis, is closing up shop and they're leaving Canada. And this, unfortunately, is not the first time that this has happened. Crown Royal has left. Other auto manufacturers have left. Companies keep leaving Canada. And we're not talking like a small ma and pa shop that, you know, like a little ice cream store that employs like 5, 10, 50 people. It's not even a middle or small, medium sized company that employs, like 200 people. These companies employ thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of employees, and they're closing up shop because they have better opportunities in America. So what does Canada's response, like what does Canada do? Do they say, oh, well, what can we do to make you want to stay here? Oh, why are you leaving? No, Canada's response is, you can't leave us. We're going to sue you. I'm not even making this up. I wish I was, but I'm not. Canada's response to companies that don't want to exist in Canada anymore and want to move to America is, you can't do that or we're going to sue you. Hence, that's kind of the funny part about this video. But it's also very sad because, again, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are going to be losing their jobs. And we can actually blame somebody. And it's not necessarily the companies that are leaving. It's the reasons why they are leaving. The Liberal government.
Dated of this letter is today. And Melanie Joly starts the letter by saying that she's writing to express her extreme concern with these investment plans in Canada and in the U.S. And demand that the company respect its obligations flowing from billions of dollars of financial support extended over the decades. And then she says, while the current U.S. tariff environment is creating complex challenges, Stellantis has made important commitments to Canada and to its workforce. Canadians expect that Stellantis will respect and honor these commitments. Anything short of this is unacceptable. And then here's the key part, and I think we have this in writing for our viewers. Should Stellantis choose not to respect its obligations, we will act in the interests of all Canadians and hold the company to full account and exercise all options, including legal. So this is the real nut.
You can't break up with me. I gave you a promise ring. It's just so pathetic, man. Canada is just so pathetic. It's so humiliating and embarrassing. We can't even keep businesses in the country because they don't want to be here. They don't want to be in Canada. And can you blame them? Really? So that was CBC's report. Now we're going to take a look at CTV because, well, every media has a different spin, right? Canada threatens legal action against Stellantis over Jeep production shift. It's just so embarrassing.
CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Locouture is here with us now on how Ottawa is responding. Hi, Mike.
Sandy, Industry Minister Melanie Joly wouldn't specify exactly how, but the federal government is considering legal action against Stellantis.
We will make sure that we push the company and we hold them to account.
A letter from Melanie Joly to the company's CEO identifies legally binding commitments the car company made in the past as part of a deal with Canada and Ontario.
We've invested millions of dollars in that facility based on the commitment that they would be investing in a new model. And so that's why, if they don't do so, we'll hold them to account.
Ontario's premier is also digging in.
I'm not going to give him a penny because it was tied in to making sure Windsor and keep Brampton going.
Doug Ford says the head of Stellantis told him yesterday they were going to find a new model for the Brampton plant and move 1,500 workers to the one in Windsor. In a statement, Stellantis said Canada is very important to us, adding, "We have plans for Brampton and we'll share them upon further discussions with the Canadian government." But Doug Ford believes the car company is shifting $13 billion in investment to the U.S. because of trade uncertainty triggered by President Donald Trump.
That guy, President Trump, he's a real piece of work. You know something? My message to the Prime Minister when I meet him on Thursday is if you can't get a deal, let's start hitting him back.
Canadian vehicles to grow our auto industry.
Prime Minister Mark Carney campaigned on standing up to Trump. However, in recent months, Canada has removed most counter tariffs on U.S. products except steel, aluminum, and autos. In a post on social media, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre claimed the Prime Minister sold out workers and let their jobs move to the U.S.
The minister responsible for trade with the U.S., Dominic LeBlanc, returned to Washington on Monday. He is working with Canadian negotiators to continue talks with their American counterparts on trade. Sandy?
Okay.
It's the Liberal government. That's what it really comes down to. It's the Liberal government, their policies, their lack of actual incentives to want to stay here. And I don't mean bribes. I don't mean the Canadian government should be saying, hey, we're going to give you incentives by paying you. No, there should be taxes. There should be actual incentives for a company to want to exist in a country so it can grow and make more money and employ more people. That's literally how this works, and it's not happening. So if you think the cost of living is expensive, which I know you do living in Canada, because I'm also in Canada and we all see it. You talk to anybody, stop and speak to some random person at the grocery store next time and just ask, hey, just curious, I've been living under a rock for 5 years. Has the prices of groceries really gone up in the past 5 years? And everybody is going to turn and stop and say, yeah, man, what the fuck is going on? Well, the Liberal government, that's what's going on. So that's small potatoes. I know it sucks because it affects us literally on an everyday basis. But when you scale from buying, $100, $200, $300 grocery trips to dealing with hundreds of million or billions of dollars, that adds up, and you're losing so much money and you're stuck with so much red tape because of people like this, the Liberal government. Let's take a look at G.I. Jolie and what she has to say about this. And we're going to sue Stellantis.
Well, let me be clear on Stellantis. I'm extremely disappointed about this decision, and not only am I disappointed, it's completely unacceptable. So we will fight for these jobs. We will fight for the jobs at Brampton. We'll fight for the jobs that were committed by Stellantis, and we'll fight for our auto sector. I've been in contact with Lana Payne, the head of Unifor, yesterday and today. I've been in contact with Flavia Volpe, who's an important voice in the sector. We've been working hand in glove also with the Ford government, and we're one strong Team Canada together. And the company has commitments under different types of agreements with the government, including the fact that we provided support for the retooling of the very Brampton facility that right now is sitting idle. So we will make sure that we push the company and we hold them to account. And at the same time, what we want is we want to make sure that the workers are well treated, and their support needs to be extended by another year until 2027 at least. So we will continue to push, and we will continue to make sure that we're fighting for the jobs. And I'll continue to work night and day on this issue. I've had a conversation with the Prime Minister this morning and a conversation with Minister LeBlanc as well.
I was wondering how you respond to Mr. Poilievre's comments.
I think this is not time to do politics. The time right now is absolutely to be one Team Canada. And when we faced really tough circumstances in the past, we were there united.
This is not a time for politics. These people screwed up the country with bad deals, red tape, excess taxes. Okay, it's not rewarding to have your business in Canada. It's not even rewarding to live in Canada anymore at this point. The Canada we knew, the Canada that we grew up with, the Canada that we idolize, the Canada that we want so much is probably never coming back because of the irreversible damage that this little twat Jolie and others alike have done. Now, she's not solely responsible for this, but she played a massive role in this and will continue to play a massive role in the downfall of Canada. We're literally in a tug of war. And President Trump said this in his last speech with Prime Minister Carney that Canada and America have competing sectors, and it's not good. It's a business disagreement because they both want the auto sector industry. And I'm telling you right now, Canada under Canadian companies will not be the auto sector leader in the near future. Everyone is moving to America. It's not our business anymore. We have so many other opportunities. We can use our oil, our minerals. We have so much other opportunities. I'm not saying just abandon on the auto sector because that does affect really hundreds of thousands of people's jobs, but it's also not, we're not going to dominate that. Companies are going to be losing money by being here when they could be in America. And for that reason, they're going to want to leave. Why would you stay somewhere where you're making like a third, a fifth, a tenth of what you could be making? Right? I mean, it's just numbers. Business is business.
2009, when the company was facing major financial difficulties, Canadians were there. And so we expect Stellantis now to be there for Canadians. And by the way, 150,000 cars made by Stellantis are sold every year in Canada. And so Canadians know what to do when a company doesn't necessarily have the interests of Canadians at stake. And finally, my last point is, of course we'll sit down with the company. Of course we will want to make sure that we can continue to work with them to see what can be done with the Brampton plant. I've said that to the Canadian CEO of Stellantis yesterday. I've reiterated our commitment to make sure that there are new models that can be built in Brampton at the Stellantis facility, because at the end of the day, we know that the Canadian workers are the best in line when it comes to the auto sector. So we heard through a phone call we had with the company yesterday. And so in these circumstances, the process in which that was done was actually something that we really didn't appreciate. And so we've been engaging with the company for months now, knowing that the Brampton facility was going to be retooled. We've invested millions of dollars in that facility based on the commitment that they would be investing in a new model. And so that's why, if they don't do so, we'll hold them to account. Meanwhile, the door is always open to have more further investments on the part.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. It's literally a game of numbers. Where will your dollar go the furthest? Is it going further in America or in Canada? Are you saving more in America or are you saving more in Canada? When you're dealing with the hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in this case, it's just not worth it for companies to be, remaining in Canada. It's nothing personal. It's just a numbers game. So I want to pass a question off to you. How do you feel about this? Obviously, it's devastating for Canadians and people that are employed by the auto industry in predominantly Southern Ontario. It's absolutely devastating. It's not laughing at them. But this is avoidable. And this will continue to be avoidable as long as Canada elects a proper government. The Liberals are proving for the last 10 plus years that they are incapable of actually fixing this country. In fact, they're phenomenal at making the country worse for pretty much everybody involved. So is Canada going to keep making the same mistakes? Well, that's up to all of you. That's up to the voters. So if you haven't yet already, I'd like to encourage you guys to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel so you can stay notified of new videos. And I'll see you in another one. Bye for now.